Time is a weapon. It's a phrase that might sound a bit strange at first, but if you really think about it, you start to see how powerful this concept is. Time, as we know it, is more than just a measurement of hours, minutes, and seconds. It's an invisible force that dictates everything in our lives, and how we interact with it can determine the course of our entire existence. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, or where you come from. Time doesn't care. It doesn't play favorites. It's neutral, but incredibly powerful. When we say time is a weapon, what we're really saying is that it has the ability to shape outcomes, to destroy and to build. How you choose to use time can lead you down two completely different paths. You can either use it to your advantage, making every second count, or you can waste it, allowing it to slip away without purpose. Think about it. Time doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't slow down for your problems, your distractions, or your fears. It moves with or without you. And that's where its power lies. It waits for no one. It doesn't care if you're ready or not. It keeps going. That's the first lesson in understanding time as a weapon. Its relentless nature. You can't stop it, you can't pause it, and you can't rewind it. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why time is a weapon, because it can never be regained once it's lost. The thing is, many people don't realize the value of time until it's too late. It's easy to take it for granted when we're young, when we think we have all the time in the world. But that's the illusion. Time doesn't wait for you to realize its importance. By the time you do, it could already be too late. Every moment you waste is a piece of your life you'll never get back, and that's why time is such a formidable force. It has the power to shape your future, but only if you treat it with respect and awareness. You see, when you're aware that time is a weapon, you start to realize just how much control you have over your life. The way you manage your time determines the outcome of your goals, your dreams, your success. It determines the trajectory of your relationships, your career, and even your health. Every decision you make, every choice to use time wisely or waste it, has consequences. And that's why time is a weapon that can be used for good or bad. If you're intentional with how you use it, if you spend it in ways that move you forward, you become the master of your destiny. You can achieve things, create things, make a difference. But if you're careless, if you squander time, it will take from you. It will erode your opportunities and leave you with nothing but regret. This is why people who understand the value of time are often the most successful. They don't waste a moment. They don't let distractions or excuses stand in their way. They're focused, driven, and aware that each second is precious. They make time work for them, not against them. And that's the power of time as a weapon. When you wield it correctly, you don't just survive, you thrive. But here's the thing, time doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor, young or old, successful or struggling. It's available to everyone equally, but how you use it is up to you. And because time is the one thing that can't be replaced, it becomes more valuable than anything else you can possess. Money, possessions, status, those things come and go. But once time is spent, it's gone forever. Time is a weapon because it can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. If you let it slip by without making decisions that move you forward, time will work against you, stealing from you. But if you approach it with intention, understanding its true value, it becomes the most powerful tool in your arsenal. Time has the power to create, to build, to heal, and to transform. When you understand this, you start seeing time as more than just a number on the clock. You start seeing it as a weapon that can either be a force for good or a force that leaves you with nothing but missed chances. Time waits for no one. This simple truth is one of the most profound lessons we can learn in life. It's easy to believe that we have all the time in the world, that we can put things off, or that tomorrow will be another opportunity to take action. But time is not like that. It doesn't care about your plans or your intentions. It's an impartial force, moving forward regardless of whether you're ready for it or not. When you realize that time doesn't wait for you, it shifts the way you view your own life and the decisions you make every single day. The clock never stops ticking. Every second that passes is gone, and you'll never get it back. That's a reality many people don't fully grasp until it's too late. We tend to put things off, telling ourselves that there will always be time in the future to do what we need to do. We tell ourselves that we'll be better, we'll be ready, or we'll take action tomorrow. But what happens when tomorrow never comes? What happens when the time we thought we had is suddenly taken away from us? That's the harsh truth. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Think about the people who have built incredible legacies or made huge impacts. What they understand is that each day counts, each moment counts. They don't procrastinate. They don't wait for the right time. They understand that time moves forward, and if they don't take action now, it's a missed opportunity. By acting in the present moment, they're not just avoiding regret, they're actively creating their future. The notion that time waits for no one forces you to face your own procrastination and your own fear. It forces you to realize that waiting around for the perfect moment is a dangerous game to play. There's never a perfect moment. There's never a time when everything aligns perfectly and you feel fully ready to take on the challenges ahead. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll miss out on everything that could be happening in the now. The most successful people understand this. They don't wait, they act. Let's be real for a second. There's no guarantee you'll have more time. The next day, the next week, the next year. It's all uncertain. We live in a world where anything can happen, and we have no control over when our time may be up. If you live with the false assumption that time will always be there for you, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. You could be waiting for the right time, waiting to be ready, waiting for the stars to align, and then find yourself looking back with regret, wishing you had taken action when you had the chance. This is why it's important to seize the moment, to take advantage of the time you have, because it's fleeting. The truth is, if you don't start acting now, you'll keep finding reasons to delay. One day you'll look back and realize that all those tomorrows you were waiting for were simply more wasted opportunities. And when that realization hits, it's often too late. The world doesn't stop for you. It doesn't stop for your hesitation. It doesn't stop for your doubts. It keeps moving forward, and so should you. The message is simple if you want something. If you have a dream, a goal, a passion, don't wait. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Don't wait for the right conditions. And don't wait for someone to give you permission. The time is now. Because when you're in that mindset, when you understand that time waits for no one, you start to see the world differently. You start to understand that each day is a gift, a chance to get closer to where you want to be. You start to act, and you stop letting fear or doubt hold you back. When you stop waiting, you take control of your own life. You realize that you don't have to wait for external circumstances to change for you to start moving. The time to act is always now, because if you wait for the right time, it may never come. Time doesn't care about your excuses or your fears. It moves forward, and you have to decide whether you want to move with it or be left behind. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. This simple yet powerful statement is something many people fail to truly understand until it's too late. It's easy to live with the assumption that there will always be another chance, that tomorrow will come with new opportunities, that we have time on our side. But the harsh reality is that we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know if we will be here or if the world around us will change in an instant. Tomorrow is an illusion that we convince ourselves is a guarantee. We tell ourselves, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow, or tomorrow I'll be ready. The truth, however, is that tomorrow is nothing more than a dream, a concept we use to delay action. It doesn't exist yet, and it may never come in the way we expect it. The clock is ticking, and the future is not something we can control or predict. Many people live their lives believing they have all the time in the world, thinking they can keep pushing things off, delaying their dreams, waiting for a better time. But what they don't realize is that by constantly deferring their goals and actions, they're missing out on life. The present moment, the now, is the only moment you truly have control over. Tomorrow is a mystery. The future is uncertain. This isn't to say that planning for the future isn't important. Of course, we need to set goals, plan, and think ahead, but the mistake comes when we become so fixated on the future that we neglect the present. We wait for the right time, which in reality may never come. We postpone our happiness, our growth, and our success because we think tomorrow will be the day everything falls into place. But what happens when tomorrow doesn't come? What happens if your plans, your dreams, and your ambitions are never realized because you waited for a future that never materialized? Life doesn't stop and opportunities don't pause. The world keeps turning and time keeps moving forward. And if you're too focused on tomorrow, you might find yourself with nothing but regret. Think about the times you've said to yourself, I'll start my workout routine tomorrow, or I'll reach out to that person tomorrow, or I'll take that risk tomorrow. Every time you delay something, you lose a little bit of yourself, a little bit of your energy, a little bit of your potential. Time is moving, and every second that slips by is one you can never get back. We often think that we have endless tomorrows, but what happens if tomorrow doesn't come? What if the chance to make a change, to start something new, to tell someone you love them, or to pursue your dream is no longer available because you kept putting it off. We don't like to think about our own mortality, but the truth is life is fragile. There are no guarantees. Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, and that's why the decisions we make today are so important. The people who achieve greatness, who live fulfilling lives, are those who understand this. They don't wait for tomorrow, they take action today. They know that time is a limited resource, and they make the most of it. They don't live with the mindset of, I'll do it later, because they understand the urgency that comes with realizing that there may not be a later. They act now. They take risks now. They make their move in the present moment because they understand that waiting only increases the likelihood of regret. It's easy to assume that there will always be more time, but it's a dangerous trap to fall into. We think we'll get to things eventually, but the truth is, eventually can quickly turn into never, and then when we realize that the time has passed, it's often too late to change anything. Regret sets in, but that doesn't have to be your reality. The moment you understand that tomorrow is not promised, you take ownership of today. You start living with a sense of urgency, with the awareness that the present moment is your opportunity to make things happen. The idea that tomorrow is not promised is both a sobering and empowering realization. It sobers you to the fact that time is precious, that life is unpredictable, and that you can't afford to wait. But it also empowers you to take control of your own fate. It encourages you to act, to live fully, to pursue what matters now, because now is the only time that truly exists. Every second counts. That's not just a phrase to repeat when you're in a rush or watching a clock. It's a truth that governs everything in life. Time doesn't just pass, it builds or destroys depending on what you do with it. Every tick of the clock is an opportunity, a decision, a step forward or a step back. Each second may feel small, but when added together, they form the structure of your life. That's how powerful each moment really is. Most people underestimate the value of a second. We waste time like it's infinite, like we can get it back later. But time doesn't give refunds. Once it's spent, it's gone. And because of that, every second is a chance to change something, to start something, to finish something, to say what needs to be said, to move closer to who you want to be. And that's what makes every second count, not because of what it is, but because of what it can be. Think about how people treat money. They count every dollar, they budget, they save, they invest. Why? Because money is a resource, and they know how important it is to manage it wisely. But time is more valuable than money. You can earn money back, but you can't earn back time. And yet we throw away minutes, hours, even entire days as if they mean nothing. Imagine if we treated time the way we treat our bank accounts, with focus, with discipline, and with purpose. The results would be transformational. Every second holds the potential for impact. 1 second can be the difference between success and failure, between life and death, between connection and silence. 1 second can be the moment you decide to speak up instead of stay quiet, to act instead of wait, to try instead of doubt. And if you don't take that second seriously, it disappears. That's the nature of time. It demands attention, and if you ignore it, it moves on without you. We often believe that progress requires massive actions, dramatic changes, or big breakthroughs. But in truth, progress happens in small, consistent moments. It happens in seconds. A single second of discipline repeated daily turns into a habit. A second of courage in the face of fear can lead to a life-changing opportunity. A second of kindness, of listening, of awareness can change the entire direction of a relationship or someone's day. That's how seconds stack up. That's how they count. When people look back on their lives, what they often remember aren't the long, drawn-out periods of time. They remember the moments. Those key seconds when everything changed. The second they said yes. The second they took a chance. The second they didn't quit. Life is made up of moments like that, and the quality of your life depends on how many of those seconds you truly show up for. But showing up doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. It means making the most of the moment you're in, rather than waiting for the perfect one to arrive. Because the perfect moment is a myth. The only real moment is the one you're living in right now. And in that second, you can choose how to respond, how to act, what direction to take. That power is yours, but only if you recognize that the moment matters. People often say they don't have enough time, but the reality is they're not using the time they already have. Seconds slip away through distraction, hesitation, and fear. Hours are lost in overthinking and avoidance. Days go by without movement toward the things that actually matter. All because we forget the value of a second. We forget that the smallest unit of time is still time, and that it still holds weight. You don't need more time. You need to respect the time you already have. When you understand that every second counts, you stop wasting time waiting for something better to come along. You stop taking the moment you're in for granted. You stop assuming there will be another chance. You begin to treat time with intention. And that shift from careless to careful, from passive to purposeful, is where everything begins to change. You control your destiny. That's not just a motivational slogan. It's a truth that lives in your hands, moment by moment. Life will throw things at you that you can't control. Circumstances, pain, delays, loss. These things come uninvited. But your choices, your decisions about how you respond, how you act, how you use the time you've been given, that's where your power lies. Destiny isn't something that just happens. It's not luck, and it's not fate in the way people like to imagine it. Destiny is built. It's shaped, and you are the one doing the shaping every single day. People like to believe that life just happens. To them, that their future is written in the stars or that success belongs to the lucky. But those are excuses. They take the weight off your shoulders. They remove responsibility. But they also take away your power, because when you accept the truth that you control your destiny, you can no longer blame anyone else for where you are or where you're going. And that truth might be hard, but it's also freeing. It means that you don't have to wait on permission or the right timing or for someone to come and hand you your purpose. You create it. Time is the tool that destiny uses. Every decision you make, every second you spend doing one thing instead of another is a brushstroke on the canvas of your future. You don't wake up one day with a finished life. You build it. 1 hour at a time. One choice at a time. Every moment you spend developing your character, mastering your craft, showing up even when it's hard, that's a step toward the future you say you want. And if you're not making those choices, if you're not using your time with that awareness, then your destiny is being shaped by neglect instead of intention. People look at others who've achieved greatness and they say they were destined for it. But what they don't see is the work, the time invested, the choices made behind closed doors when no one was watching. Destiny doesn't come from wishing. It comes from doing, and doing consistently, over time. That's why time is so connected to destiny, because what you do with your time is what creates the path ahead. You don't stumble into greatness. You work your way into it. You decide every day whether your future is being built or being delayed. Controlling your destiny doesn't mean you control every event in your life. Things happen that you never asked for. Some things knock the wind out of you. But what matters is what you do next. What matters is whether you choose to get back up, whether you use the pain or let it use you, whether you keep moving or sit still. Your reaction to life is just as important as the plan you started with. That's part of owning your destiny, knowing that the power to redirect, to rise, to evolve is always inside you. You have to stop waiting for someone else to fix it. Stop waiting for the system to change, for the right person to come along, for the timing to be perfect. Because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to make your life better for you. That responsibility belongs to you and you alone. And yes, it's heavy, but it's also the most empowering thing you'll ever realize. Because once you understand that, you stop giving your power away. You stop wasting time and start using it with purpose. Time is a reflection of your values. What you spend it on tells the story of what you really believe in. If you say you want to be great, but you spend your time doing things that don't serve your growth, then your actions and your destiny are out of alignment. But when your time is invested in things that stretch you, strengthen you, and move you forward, then you're living like someone who knows they're in control. Your future becomes a reflection of your discipline, your focus, and your fire. Discipline sharpens time into a weapon. Without discipline, time is like a dull blade, present full of potential, but unable to cut through resistance. But when you add discipline to time, it transforms. It becomes a force that can shape your life, push through obstacles, and carve a path forward where none existed. Discipline isn't about punishment or rigidity. It's about consistency, control, and intention. It's the act of choosing what matters most over what feels good in the moment. It's how you show up when no one is watching and how you commit to your goals long after the excitement has faded. Time without discipline slips away unnoticed. It's the hours lost scrolling, the days spent procrastinating, the years spent making excuses. Most people don't run out of time, they run out of focus. They run out of drive because time alone doesn't move you forward. It's what you do with that time that defines your trajectory. And discipline is the engine that drives your use of time in the direction of growth. It keeps you aligned with your purpose. It tells you to get up early when you'd rather sleep in, to practice when you'd rather relax, to work when others are wasting time, Discipline doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for commitment. It asks you to do the work even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. And when you build that kind of relationship with time, when you stop treating it like a luxury and start treating it like a weapon, you become dangerous. Not to others, but to doubt, to procrastination, to fear. You start cutting through all the noise and excuses that have held you back for years. And you begin to realize that greatness isn't about talent or luck. It's about showing up again and again with relentless discipline. Every goal you have, every dream you've imagined, it all depends on discipline. It's not enough to want it. You have to work for it. Wanting is passive. Working is active. Discipline is what turns wanting into doing. It's what turns vague plans into results. You don't need 100 different strategies. You need one clear focus and the discipline to execute on it every single day. That's what separates the people who talk from the people who do. Time treats everyone the same, but discipline changes how time treats you. With discipline, time compounds. Every small action done with intention adds up. It may not look like much at first. 10 minutes of writing, 1 hour at the gym, a single phone call made. But over time, those moments stack. They build momentum. And momentum is the most powerful force in progress. When you apply discipline day after day, it stops being hard. It becomes who you are. Your habits begin to shape your identity, and your identity begins to shape your future. You don't need to chase motivation. You need to build systems powered by discipline. People wait for motivation like it's going to walk through the door and change their life. But motivation is unreliable. It fades. It's based on emotion, and emotion shifts with the wind. Discipline, on the other hand, is solid. It doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what you said you were going to do. And then it demands that you do it. That's how time becomes a weapon in your hands. That's how you get sharper, faster, more precise. Not by wishing, but by working. Not by dreaming, but by doing. The enemy of progress is comfort, and discipline is what pulls you out of comfort and into challenge. That's where the growth happens. In the discomfort, in the sacrifice, in the silence where no one's cheering you on. Discipline is what tells you to keep going when the results aren't there yet. It reminds you that progress is invisible before it's undeniable. And it's what teaches you that consistency beats intensity every time. Anyone can go hard once. Discipline goes again and again, quietly, relentlessly, with purpose.